All right, guys, we are going to go over our math charts real quickly. Parents, these are things that they will need to know for third grade. Um, I I do them in several ways. And last week we talked about in the land of gallon. That is just a really cute way to remember gallons, pints, and quarts. And we're going to go ahead and look at the charts right now. Sorry, I'm looking at Evan. I'm giving him the mean mama look. And we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, measures of length. Remember, 1 foot is a ruler, so that's 12 inches. And remember, the inches are about from this part of your finger, the line, to the very tip. That's about an inch. Okay? Do you remember when we flipped over the ruler and there were little bitty things? Do you remember what they're called? Centimeters. Good job. And the abbreviation for centimeter is cm. Centimeters are, do you remember? I kind of gave you a hint. They're about the width of your pinky finger. So they're a lot smaller than inches. So let's keep going. 1 yard, remember my yardstick, is 3 feet or 3 rulers. 1 yard is 36 inches because 12 plus 12 plus 12, or 12 times 3, is 36. All right, here's the meter. Do you remember that the meter stick is a little bit longer than the yardstick? It's about 3 inches longer, and we don't use the meter here, but it's still important to know. All right, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Do you remember, if I cover up the rest of the word, what the capital letter C in a Roman numeral is? Right, it equals 100. So if you can remember that, you can remember 100 centimeters. Before we got out, we were talking about weight. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And then 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. And if you're looking at my pointer, this is a Febreze little wand that you used to clean dust with. Oh, Evan told me it's the Swiffer. I'm so sorry. But my Swiffers at home have Febreze on them, so he's my little sidekick to make sure I'm teaching the right stuff. We went to the pantry to look for a beef jerky link because we thought that would be funny, but we didn't have any. So Swiffer stick it is. All right, I'm going to turn it over on the back. Oh, here is our gallon. All right, we have a gallon, a quart, a pint, and a cup. So 1 pint equals 2 cups. Say it with me, please. 1 quart equals 2 pints. And 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. All right, if you want to press pause and do the gallon man in the land of gallon on a scratch sheet of paper, that would be wonderful. And you can show your parents, say, oh, look, I know how many cups are in a gallon. And if you are baking a lot with your parents or helping cook dinner, I want you to look for these things. Ounces, cups, pints, gallons. Hopefully you're not putting a gallon of milk into anything, but look around your kitchen. See what other things have gallons. All right, we're gonna pull that one down. See if it's gonna behave over here. All right, this is measures of time. 1 week equals 7 days. And I'll always ask you this, how many days are in a week? And you say 7. But how many days are in a school week? And you would tell me 5. But how many days are in a school week now? I hope you still said 5 because you're supposed to be having school at home. So even though we're not at school physically, we are still learning at home, and I am still teaching, and I'm also helping my 2 boys, so we have to continue to work hard for the Lord. All right, so 1 week equals 7 days. And if you don't know the days of the week, we're going to say them real fast. And if you don't know them, parents, please make sure they know them. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And what comes after Saturday? If you said Sunday, that's right. The new week starts over. All right, 1 year equals 12 months. Okay, we are in the month of April, so let's see what month that would be. January, February, March, and April. What ordinal number is April? Is it the first month, the second month? Right, it's the 4th month, and it's going so fast that soon May will be here, and that'll be the 5th month. It's just crazy to think that you are almost a 3rd grader, and I'm not ready for you to go to 3rd grade yet, so you're still my 2nd grader for right now. All right, so 1 year equals 12 months. Parents have them say the months of the year. There is a little song. I'm sure they can finish it if I start it. January, February, March, and April, May. And they can finish the song. They should know it. We sing it. All right, 1 year is about 52 weeks. 1 year equals 365 days, except for this year was a leap year, and we had 366 days. Very good. We're going to look on the back, see if it has anything. Oh, this has money, which should be something you know really well. Okay. We have the penny, the nickel, the dime, the quarter, and the half dollar. Okay. A penny is 1 cent, a nickel is 5 cents, a dime is 10 cents, and a quarter is 25 cents, and a half dollar is 50 cents. Okay, let's look down here. $1, this is how you would write it. $1 decimal 00. $5 is written the same way. $10, and so on. Do you remember, Evan, throw me a marker. Do you have a marker over there available? Or are they over here?
They're over there.
Oh, I guess they're over here behind me. Oh, there we go. Hold this for a sec. Well, I'm gonna set it right there. I want you to remember that 1 cent can be written this way, or you can do it the big kid way. Remember? Here's 5 cents. $, decimal, 0, 5. Because if you put a decimal 5, that's not money. You have to have 2 digits behind the decimal. 10 cents, decimal 10. 25 cents, and 50 cents, decimal 50. I just wanted you to remember that in case you forgot, because you will see that again. All right, let me flip it over. We already did that side. Oh, it didn't want my phone. Here, Evan, take these for me, baby. They keep falling. Thank you. All right, here is our Roman numerals. Come on, little poster. Okay, if you have been watching my other videos, I've moved to a new location. I'm now in my mom's sunroom, and it is full of Coke memorabilia. She loves Coke stuff. So I got kicked out of their bedroom because my dad needed to go to sleep instead of my mom. They have to work. So we're in here, so just bear with me. Okay, but in there, in the Bible, yeah, the Bible video, right? It showed the clock with the Roman numerals. Do you remember that, what these are called? Here's a Roman numeral. Do you remember this? An Arabic numeral. Good job. An Arabic number, excuse me. Say it on your bottom. I feel like I'm in my classroom. Yeah. Like I give somebody a look. Say it on your bottom. Shh. Yeah, I'm gonna move your clip down. Quit laughing. Real life, guys, real life. All right, so we're gonna go through them real quickly. These are all capital letters. I is 1. I'm gonna go over the basics, how we learned them. I is 1, V is 5, because 5, 10 is X. 4 is 1 before 5. Of course, one number before 5 is 4. Let's look at another one that does that. Number 9, 1 before x. That is 1 before 10. What number is 1 before 10? 9. Okay, and there's some more that do that. Parents, again, I think I said this last week, if you want to mix these up and test them on them, that would be great. Okay, I'm not going to just go through and count them. That's kind of silly. All right, and on the back, let's look at the top. We already did these. L is 50. C is 100. We said that earlier. D is 500, and M is 1,000. Okay, and this goes on to count all the way to 100. So if you want to pause and say these out loud with your child, that would be very helpful, because I'm pretty sure the Roman numerals are on the test this week, and they'll be on some seat work pages. All right, and I'm going to move this to the side, and we're going to stop right here just for a break. Your cue. All right, guys, we are going to look at our multiplication rules. We've been learning these for quite a long time, I think since January. So I'm just going to review these, and this week we are going to learn how to multiply by 3, which pretty sure you know that because we sing our 369 song. But let's go ahead and start. We're gonna the ones. Any number times 1 equals that same number except 0. Good job. So that means 1 times 1 is 1. 12 times 1 is 12. What is 25 times 1? Good job. I hope you said 25. Now except 0. 1 times 0 is 0. Okay. Move on to zeros. Any number times 0 always equals 0. Example, 0 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. Evan, what is 500 times 0?
0.
Good job! All right, let's move on to our 2s. I'm going kind of fast because I did this last week. Any number times 2, you take the other factor and double it. So remember, the 2 numbers that you multiply are factors. And the answer is called the product. Good job. All right, so 2 times 2 is 4. That means that's the same as doing 2 plus 2 is 4. Here's another example. 9 times 2 is the same as 9 plus 9, which equals 18. All right, the 5s and the 10s, y'all got them really, really quick. So let's see, 5s, count by 5s that many times. For example, 5 times 3. 5, 10, 15. So 5 times 3 is 15. Another example is 5 times 4. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 5 times 4 is 20. Good job. All right, by 10s, count by 10s, or just add a 0. So 10 times 2, we're going to count by 10s. 10, 20. So 10 times 2 is 20. Or you can just add a 0. That means 1 times 2 is 2. Then just put a 0 on it. 10 times 5 is 50. So let's count that out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 10 times 5 is 50. All right, I'm going to pause it right here just so I can get set up for the next part. Pause it. All right, on Monday's seat work, the new material is about multiplying by 3. And we have been singing our song, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with that. You ready? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36 is how we count by 3s. Next time, won't you count with me? So taking that song and applying it to this is what I'm about to show you is really easy, okay? So it says to multiply by 3, you take the other factor and count by 3s that many times. So here's 3, and we're going to count to 3 4 times. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to even sing the song. Watch this. 3, 6, 9, 12. We stopped on 12. So 3 times 4 is 12. And remember, that's the same as doing 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay? But it's much faster to do it that way. Okay, now we're going to do 3 times 7. We can sing the song again. 3, 6, 9. Hold on, my marker's about to fall. It usually falls in class, right, guys? All right, let's start over. We're counting 7, up to 7 fingers. You ready? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. That's 7 fingers. So I stopped on 21. So 3 times 7 equals 21. Or that's the same as doing all these 3's and it equaling 21. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here as well because I need to erase my board. I have a little bitty board. So Evan, can you pause it please? All right, we are gonna go over division. Parents, I know that, and I mentioned this last week, I learned my times tables by writing them like 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. Try that with the kids. If not, get them to teach our song and they know it because they always sing it, and that will definitely help some. All right, before we start with the rule, kids, let's review this. I think I've only told you this once, so you may not remember. The first number of a division combination is called the dividend. The second number is called the divisor. And I know you know this, the answer to a division problem is the quotient. Okay, so we have the dividend, the divisor, and the quotient. Okay, now let's go to our rule. To divide, you take the divisor, in this case it's 2, and count by that number, so we're going to count by 2's, until you get to the dividend. So we're going to count by 2's until we get to 12. You ready? 2, 4, 6, I hope you're counting with me, 8, 10, 12. So that gives me how many? We have 5. Good job, 6. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. Another way, when you divide something in 2, you are halving it. So if you know half of 12 is 6, then you know that really easy. So when you divide by 2, you're just halving it. All right, and here's the other problem. Remember that the other way it's set up? You read it this way. So 12 divided by 2, and then you write it on top. Well, my marker's gonna work, equals 6. Okay, so don't forget about that way too. All right, parents, again, this would be a great way to use like cereal or candy. In my class, we use erasers, little mini erasers to show them division, okay? It's not necessarily all about memorizing. I'm more worried about them trying to visualize and realize what division really is, okay? So let's go over here. So let's look at the rule again. To divide, you take the divisor, so that's this number, 3, and count by 3's until we get to the dividend. In this case, it's 15. All right, so we're gonna count by 3's till we get to 15. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. What do we come up with? 5, good job. So 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Do you remember when we first talked about division, how division is the opposite of multiplication? So that means that 5 times 3 equals 15, okay? We've done that with subtraction and addition, so now it's the same thing. So let's look over here. 6 times 2 equals 12. So they're all related facts, which is really neat, okay? Now these were some that I reviewed before we got out, and here we go. Any number divided by itself always equals 1. Oh, my marker. So 9 divided by 9 equals 1. 50 divided by 50 equals 1. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. 7 divided by 1 equals 7. So that's just like our multiplication rule. Any number times 1 equals that number. So any number divided by 1 equals that number. And lastly, any number divided by 0 is 0. That's also the same when we multiply. So 3 divided by 0 is 0. Okay? So I really, really want parents, if you have flashcards, this would be great. Or make it fun. You can get Play-Doh and ball up little balls, or half it, or put it into thirds. That would be a great way too. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause just for a second, and I need to erase my board again, so 1 second. All right, we're back. We're gonna talk about related families in relation to multiplying and dividing. So first we're gonna do this one, 5 times 2. Did you get 10? Good job. So 5 times 2 equals 10. Okay, just like an addition had twins, they also have multiplication twins. So that means we switch the factors. So instead of 5 times 2, we're going to do 2 times 5, and that still equals 10 because all we did was switch them. Okay, now we're going to do the division part. Do you remember when we added, we would always take the big number first for our fact families when we subtracted? We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to do 10 divided by 2 equals 5. Okay, I'm going to write one more 10. 10 divided by 5 equals, I hope you said 2. So these are twins, because all you do is move the factors, and all of these are related. Okay? And related means, okay, if you know 5 times 2 is 10, then you should know 2 times 5, because all it did was switch the numbers around. If you know 10 divided by 2 is 5, then you should know 10 divided by 5 equals 2. You just switch the numbers around. I'm going to do one more example. 4 times 3. Let's use our rule when we're going to count by threes 4 times. 2. You ready? 3, 6, 9, 12. So 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, we're going to flip the numbers. 3 times 4 equals 12. And now we're going to start with 12 as our first number. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Now we're going to start with our big number again. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Okay, once you actually do this on paper, it'll be easy to see. It's just like when we added and subtracted, it's the same way. And it's really cool because, as I said earlier, if you know 4 times 3, you know 3 times 4. Okay, it's really neat, really, really neat. Okay, I'm gonna let Evan pause it again, and I'll see you in just a sec. All right, now we are gonna talk about elapsed time, and we have done this just a little bit in class, but I wanted to review. Okay, we are gonna use our clock here. We know that it doesn't always behave. We are gonna set it, let's see, of course it's not behaving with me. There we go. Can you see that, Evan? Do I need to come closer? Can they see that?
Yep.
Oh, it fell.
Just hold it
All
a
right.
little higher.
In your head, tell me what time that is. This is the time that breakfast is over and you're starting on your schoolwork. Good job. It says 9 o'clock. Would that be AM at the morning or PM past the morning? Very good. It's in the morning. There's no way you would start it at 9 p.m. Okay, so we're going to say, on your worksheet, you're going to have like a little arrow. I'm horrible at drawing. And then inside the arrow, it's going to tell you how many hours or minutes have passed. So first one we're going to do is 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to say that you did start your schoolwork at 9, but in 30 minutes, you're going to have to go walk your dog. So that means that we need to count until we hit 30. So here is my clock, and you don't have a clock at home, but I'll show you a quicker way. So here we go. I hope you're counting with me. 5, 10, 15, I don't know if they can see it, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so now the time is 9:30. Evan, can they see the clock? Thank you. All right, so it's not when you finish. Maybe that's when you finish Bible. Okay, we'll put that. Okay, and I don't know if you can finish Bible in 30 minutes or it may take you less. This is just an example. Okay, before we move on, I want you to remember this side is the hour side. When you write the clock, this is called a colon. And on this side, there's always 2 digits for the minutes. Okay? All right, so the way that you can make this a lot faster is you can do 9 o'clock plus 30 minutes, wouldn't be any hours, and you can add it. It would be 9:30. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do, where's my, oh my goodness. Evan, can you come man the clock for me so it doesn't fall on the floor?
Wait, what?
Come hold the clock, and I'm going to tell you what to set it as. My little side kid here, he's helping me, my little sidekick. All right, let's change the start time. You ready, Evan?
No.
Let's change it to, let's do a little bit harder. Let's do 8:30. You're gonna have to hold it. You have to hold it because it will fall and they will think it's hilarious. All right, here's our time, 8:30. And this time, let's do 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let's make it hard. See if Evan can do it. Okay, so 8:30, we're gonna move the hour first. Move the hour hand first. So it goes to 10 o'clock. So we're gonna put 10, okay? But now he has to count for 15 minutes, and he's going to, before he moves it, he's going to count by 5s. I'm sorry, he doesn't know to count by 5s. Can you please count by 5s?
5, 10, 15, 20, 20.
No.
5, 10, 15.
Okay, it was 5, 10, 15. So now the long hand is on the 9. So it would be 10:45. Okay, another way you can write this, scoot to the side please so they can see. It's just like I did earlier. 8:30 plus remember these are the hours and this side's the minutes. 15 minutes. So you could easily just add it like that and get 10:45. Okay, I do know this is on the math test this week, so you may want to work a few examples. And I think there's one more thing I need to show. Evan, can you go pause the video real quick? I think there's one more thing I gotta show.
Y'all are
All right, here's our last thing in math that we're gonna look at. And this is counting change. First counting how much change you have, then spending it on something, and then you calculating how much change you would get back. Okay, when we were little, the ladies at Sonic that would come out, they would have to know how to count back change. And now so many kids don't know how to, or people go to Sonic and they use their credit card, so they don't have to. But when you go to the cash register, and if you, a cash register at Walmart, and you're at the cashier and you hand her money, and she enters how much you hand her, how much cash you hand her, and the computer just tells her how much to give back. but she still has to know how much each coin is worth. So that's super important. So, and I know you know that from first grade. So, Susie has 2 $1 bills, 3 quarters, and a nickel. So we need to count that together. Okay, here we go. Do we do the coins first or the money? Excuse me, or the paper money? Good job, the paper money. So we have $1, $2, so I'm gonna go ahead and write that down. This marker. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my decimal. Now, do you remember when we learned to count change, we always start with the one that's worth the most? Like we would never start at the nickel. Okay, so now we have to count by 25s. I hope you remember how to do this. 25, 50, 75. Okay, that's the quarters. Now we have to add 5 more. So 75, 80. Good job. All right, so that's how much she has. She wants the Snickers bar. I hope it's showing up on camera because it's way over here. For 95 cents. So we are going to subtract what she has to how much it costs to see how much change she's going to get back. So we have, and I'm going to rewrite it so you can see it. You will see a lot of borrowing and adding with dollar signs and cents. It's the same way. All you do is you add them in your answer, the dollar sign and the cents, the decimal, excuse me. All right, so she has $2.80. She hands it to the cashier, and the candy bar is 95 cents. Do you remember the big kid way, how to write it? You don't put it in the dollar side. You have to do decimal 95. All right, so now what do we have to do? More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. And you know the word for that? Borrowing. A few of you forgot that. Borrow is when you have to go next door and get 10 more. And carrying is when you have too much and somebody's adding to your pile. So carrying is when you add, borrow is when you subtract. All right? So we have more on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. So we're going to do, let me see if I have my different color because it's easier to see. All right? So 8 minus 1 is 7. 10 plus 0 is 10. All right, now we can subtract this one. 10 minus 5 is 5. Now we have a more on the floor because 7 is less than 9. So we have to go next door again. All right, 2 minus 1 is 1. And 10 plus 7 is 17. Oh, Miss Bowles, that's a big number. So what we do is we can count up really fast, even though Miss Bowles already knows the answer. So we're going to start with 9 and count up to 17. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8. Good job. All right. And don't forget just to bring that decimal down to the answer. Okay, and then we have 1 minus nothing, which is 1. So this is how much change she'll get back. All right, guys, that's it for math this week. If you haven't signed up on IXL yet, parents, email me. I can give you their login. All the older kids do it, and their teachers take grades for it, especially middle school. My kids, the teachers will tell them to do what skill, and they'll do it and then take a grade on it. So you definitely want to be practicing it. And guess what, parents? I can see who logs in and who doesn't. So I have quite a few kids that have done a lot. So if this is actually a good way for them to practice math and other phonics, English, all of that, almost everything we've learned, there is a little activity for it. So if you don't know that passcode, username and password, let me know and I'll get it to you. All right, guys, I love y'all and I hope you have a wonderful week.